This is Team 5. We study at Penn State University, and today we will be discussing the iPhone, its applications, vulnerabilities, and impact. We will refrain from narrowing down to any particular model. But in contrast, we seek to analyze the rudimentary functions, and functions that are more advanced that help to gain the reputation it most certainly deserves. When Apple first released the iPhone in 2007, people were skeptical about its appearance. It was the first mobile phone without a keyboard. The only method of input was a touchscreen. However, after using the phone, customers agreed that, maybe it is the real deal. For the first time, the web browser on a mobile phone looked very similar to the one on a desktop. With software updates and newer models, the network performance improved significantly, and new features such as GPS were added. After allowing third parties to develop applications for the iPhone, Apple won over the hearts of many. Both software development companies and private parties showered Apple with dozens of applications that were creative, useful, and amusing. Also, very importantly, a lot of these applications were free. But the real game changer for Apple occurred in 2009 when they released iPhone 3GS. This was an amazing mobile device. It hosted a very powerful processor at the time and could store up to 32 gigabytes. As a result, the BlackBerry was starting to lose ground in the commercial setting, and iPhone started to dominate. Speaking of the private sector, there are configuration profiles that the IT department can pre-configure. As a company purchases the phones, they can be pre-configured in such a way that each department has a profile customized for their needs. Let's not forget that companies can control what apps their employees can use, what content they can purchase from the iTunes, and they can even control their employees' access to Wi-Fi. These configurations that we have been discussing can happen before the phone arrives or after. In many cases, administrators can simply download these configurations from their email. As the cloud services became more robust, synchronizing data through an iCloud account has never been easier. Employees could quickly gain access to all of their contacts in case their device is compromised, lost, or they have decided to upgrade. Text input for business needs to be fast, and with the iPhone's orientation, tilting the phone to landscape will make the input ever so easy. The predictive text can assist in spelling, but it can also be turned off if it's found inconvenient. Now let's get into data security. When it comes to the corporate world, the data should either be stored securely or it shouldn't be stored at all. When it comes to iPhone, all data that is traveling over the network or stored within the device itself is encrypted. In fact, even the user can't bypass this encryption. Big corporations can take advantage of virtual private networks and Wi-Fi that are at the fingertips of their employees who use the iPhone. The rights of these customers are diligently protected in regards to privacy. The only way that Apple's customers' information can be disclosed is due to a serious crime, according to Cybersecurity Enhancement Act. These configuration profiles that we keep talking about are extensive markup language files. Companies can use these files to restrict and grant permissions. Companies can also modify settings in regards to security, logon, Wi-Fi, and VPN. Companies can also administer multi-level access control for sites containing labeled information that is clear and sensitive. For companies that utilize role-based access controls, after an employee logs in, he or she has automatically created a template of privileges based on their role in the company. This is very useful when the company has lots of job rotations or a high turnover ratio. Creating each and every employee their own unique profile will be a nightmare for the IT department. After creating a profile for each role in the company, a manager can customize each employee's privileges based on the need to know and least privilege principle. And the million-dollar question is the iPhone vulnerable to attacks? To which the answer is, of course. Although a typical script kiddie may not necessarily gain access to the iOS kernel, a skilled hacker will most likely have the ability to steal some private information. It happened in July 2008 when an app actually got pulled off the App Store due to privacy concerns. The game would upload many contacts stored on the iPhone to the developer's server, and that way they could pull the contacts out little by little. The older brother worm, ikey.b, was much more malicious. In fact, The SRI International had to jump on the case. It changed the root password into, quote, "oh shit," and stole private data and attempted to infect other hosts. Luckily for us, the iPhone is much more secure than ever before. In fact, the sandboxing mechanism isolates processes, preventing them from affecting other processes. iPhone also padded its kernel, preventing unauthorized users from tampering with it.
Thank you very much for watching our video. Apple's iPhone was a pioneer in mobile technology, and we're looking forward to what it has to bring to us in the future.